From the shadows of the National Palace
to the muddy trenches of politics. This is the Pigsty, the pig pen of dirty politics.
Thank you for watching the video. What a bunch of political animals, huh? Welcome, distinguished inhabitants of this mud pit called Mexico. Welcome to this corner of filth, where the truth not only hurts, but also reeks like a clogged drain. I am your humble servant Chemirano, the head pig of this pen, broadcasting from the depths of the pigsty, the pig pen of politics. We're back in this stinky corner where instead of cleaning up, we just stir the trash and make it smell worse. Here in the pigsty, mud is our perfume and cynicism is our daily bread. The only place that tells you the truth, even if it burns the behinds of the humanitarian folks of the transformation. Today the pigsty is on fire, because while in the National Palace they keep playing house with someone else's oil up north, they've already got us in their sights, as if we were their backyard, which they just claimed. So, big ants, get comfortable and grab your favorite bucket of scraps, because today the menu is loaded with cynicism, hypocrisy, and that delicious stench that comes from our honorable political class. Let's get started. We begin with our humanitarian president, and the oil she doesn't know she's giving away. It turns out that President Claudia Sheinbaum, our new palace resident, is keeping busy, acting like the Joan of Arc of the oppressed. She says she doesn't know, that she wasn't told, that yesterday she went to the Pemex office, and that tomorrow they'll give her the information about how much oil we're sending to Cuba. Please, does she really think we're that gullible, or that we're all drinking the same Kool-Aid? The Financial Times, those people who actually know how to count and don't have alternative facts, exposed her. More than $1 billion a year in crude oil and fuel for the island. And the official response is that it's for humanitarian reasons. How touching. I wonder about the Mexicans who don't have access to medicine or who live under the yoke of organized crime. Are people forced to pay protection money or risk their lives less human than the Diaz-Canada regime? Because here we give away what we have left over. Oh, sorry. We give away what we don't even have, while our mediocre refineries barely spit out crude oil. Don't try to fool us. It's the club of cronies, because let's not kid ourselves. This isn't charity. It's old-fashioned ideology. Claudia stepped up to defend her fellow fighter, which is another way of saying they share the same ideas. Dumb, outdated leftist ideas. The now captured dictator and narco-terrorist, Nicolas Maduro, if that wasn't enough, also sides with the Colombian Gustavo Petro, and he defends the Cuban dictatorship, turning his back on our main partner, on whom, whether it hurts their paper-thin sovereignty or not, and whether they like it or not, we depend for food and electricity, because I don't know if Chachi knows that. But Mexico depends heavily on the United States economically. About 80% of exports go there, especially vehicles, auto parts, and machinery, as well as in the energy sector, like natural gas. Not to mention the labor market and remittances. The United States also relies on Mexico as its main supplier and strategic partner under United States-Mexico-Canada Agreement Interdependence, which, by the way, is on the ropes and will very likely take a different direction. This relationship is vital, but it's subject to negotiations on issues like migration, energy, and tariffs, directly impacting Mexican growth and regional stability. The relationship with our northern neighbor has been more important. Chachis. What they don't tell us in the morning press conference is that this loyalty to countries with outdated leftist ideologies smells like fear. The message comes straight from Palenque, where the Macuspano donkey is already on the blacklist, along with Maduro and Petro, for his alleged ties to the cartels. What a lovely neighborhood. They defend international criminals because they know that if one falls, they all fall. From Andy Adan, Augusto, Mario Delgado, and the rest of the shady characters. Even the sandwich guy in Morena. Yet here we tell ourselves Chinese or Russian fairy tales, just to follow the Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa trend. In the United States, patience is gone. The congresswoman from that country, Ana Paulina Luna, went on Fox News to say what many think and few dare to say. That Shane Baum is a disgrace, and that she's there because she was imposed. Straightforward, unfiltered, undiplomatic, Mrs. Luna didn't beat around the bush. She says that Mexico is controlled by criminal factions, and that if we had a real government, we wouldn't be asking the cartels for permission to go outside. The White House doesn't even try to hide it anymore. Their spokesperson practically confirmed once again that for Donald Trump, Mexico is cartel territory, and Shane Baum doesn't have control over anything. What do you think of our brand new figures of the fourth transformation? That horde of enlightened ones who swore they'd be different and ended up being a carbon copy, but in a cheaper version, and with more spelling mistakes than the most outdated parts of the system. Because besides, I'm fascinated by these people's ability to suffer from selective amnesia. They tear their clothes talking about the power mafia, but when you look into their political family tree, surprise, they all come from the same sewers they claim to fight today. It's like watching a butcher give you lessons on veganism while chewing on a pressed pork rind. They spit out that so-called moral strength every chance they get. Turns out, ethics is now an elastic concept. It stretches and shrinks depending on what's convenient for the supreme leader. If the other side does it, it's corruption, it's an outrage, it's the end of the world. But if one of ours does it, oh no, then it's collaboration for the movement? Is it social justice? Or my favorite one, it's the will of the people? Please, what the people have is hunger. But you don't solve it with empty promises served on welfare cards. They claim we're experiencing a historic transformation, but the same people are still splitting the rewards with new faces, but the same greedy motives. The most touching thing about this ecosystem are the sycophants, those characters who swarm around power looking for a crumb of attention. We see them on social media and in the stands, competing to be more servile and applaud the loudest. Who comes up with the most spectacular stunt to justify the embarrassment of the day? It's a spectacle worthy of a Roman circus, but without real lions. Just domesticated kittens that only bite if their master orders them to. While the Morena mobsters fight with the world to defend world-class criminals and even their own, the real country keeps wallowing in the mud. The economy is more stagnant than a piglet's drinking trough. Violence is our daily bread, and education. Well, education is that luxury the new elite would rather we didn't have, lest we start thinking for ourselves and their business comes to an end. They talk a lot about sovereignty, but they keep us kneeling before paper ideologies that only serve to fill the pockets of a few bureaucrats with delusions of grandeur. They're experts at creating imaginary enemies so they don't have to deliver real results. This is the conclusion of a cynic with a cause. My dear pigs, the show goes on, and we already know the script. Victimization in the morning, lies in the afternoon, and a deep dream of impunity at night. Don't be fooled by the shine of the tin medals they hang on themselves. In this pigsty, if you don't get dirty, you don't move forward. And believe me, they're all covered in mud up to their ears. You already know how it goes. Keep swallowing whatever they give you. But try not to choke on the truth, because it's usually pretty bitter and hard to digest. So there you have it, my dear residents of Lodo. Meanwhile, the maid scientist keeps looking for the Pemex receipt to see how much she gave to her buddies. The real world is running us over. More tariffs are coming, the T-Mech review is coming, the World Cup is coming, and the end of the sovereign fairy tale is coming. I'm returning to my filthy corner to see what new gem of human stupidity they'll offer tomorrow. Thanks for tuning in to this organized mess. I'll leave before I have a fit of laughter or disgust, which are basically the same to me now. You know how it is, nobody here is a saint, and if you don't fall, you slip on the oil we send to Cuba. I'll say goodbye, but first, remember that in this pigsty, we all know we're covered in mud. I'm Louis Berman, and this was the Pigsty, the pig pen, the one about politics. See you in the next episode of Bile Release. Goodbye, goodbye.
This is the Pigsty, the political pig pen with Louis Berman.